All right, the four elements of lighting are angle, and then natural lighting source, and then you've got artificial lighting sources, and you've got software tweaks. Let's talk about angle first. So the best way to demonstrate this is actually go over to the side camera, which is on a little bit of a delay, but I'm going to go over here and look, and you're just going to look at me the camera's about right here on me, and so you're going to see what I look like as it looks up at me, and you're going to see how awkward it is. Okay. All right, ready? Here we go. You see how that? All right, and even if I position it up like this, all right, you can see what that looks like. We'll put it back down. Now the problem with it being too high or too low is it's not natural. It's just not natural. If as much as you can control it, have it be eye level, and that's one of the keys to having that tripod is you can get your camera at eye level. Most people, look at the side view here, most people put it on the side of their computer, the top of their computer, and then that's their angle. But most people's computer screens are too low, and so you get looking up at you, kind of up the nose, right? You don't want that. You want to be eye level with your camera as much as possible. So first and foremost, make sure you have a good angle, eye level. The second is make sure you are angled or facing a natural light source. Let's go over to the secondary camera again. Turn the camera, and you can see I've got blinds. That's a natural light source. I've got a bay window right there, okay, double window, which is wonderful. And I just have these blinds, and this is what I use to adjust my lighting. You can see how it gets lighter and darker. And I like to adjust it so the lighting goes up, not down, okay? And it bounces off the ceiling and then comes down. So you want to make sure your camera is angled towards a natural lighting source, all right? So not facing towards it, it's actually going to be behind it, okay? So the natural light is behind my camera, and so I'm just looking at my natural light. It's really, really wonderful. I think that's your first default to lighting is just use natural light. Now, make sure you've got some blinds for that. Don't use darkening shades. I have darkening shades over here because I don't want that to be a lighting source at all. I want it to be blocked off. But when doing and using natural light, just make sure it's something to deflect it, right, or to filter it, all right? So number one, what's your angle, eye level, and then the second is to have a natural lighting with some sort of filtering or deflection of that natural light. But I'm a huge fan of natural light. Use that when at all possible. The third thing is your in-house lighting. I want to encourage you to just use as many different sources as you can to get a good mix. Now, I've told you already, natural light is our preferred method, but you may need some other lights to sort of fill it in. Like right now it's kind of a gloomy day, which actually is really good for lighting. You want some kind of cloud cover. But at night, maybe you need to have some even lighting. That's where this Tautronics lamps come in. I've got one here, if you look at the side view. I've got one over here, if you look at the side view. And you're going to be able to adjust those to the 5 different color temperatures, 5 different brightness levels. So you have 25 options of getting a really good lighting mix. You can pivot them. You can deflect them away. You can deflect them right at you. There's a lot of different options with those lamps. If you don't want to get 2 of them, just get one and put it right behind your camera, right next to your camera, and behind your monitor, and come at you that way. Don't forget you can always deflect it off of the ceiling, off of a wall if you need to. There's times that I actually turn the lamps around at night and I deflect them off the wall and then back at me so they're not as harsh. That's some other lighting options. Now you'll see behind me, and you can kind of see in this side view, there's a light down here actually, and below me that's lighting my background. Because when it's not on, it's actually too dark. It looks kind of spooky back there. So I actually just lay the lamp on its side and put it on the floor just to have a little lighting mix. It's not permanent, but it creates a little nice lighting mix over there. I avoid overhead lights because it gives me sort of a halo effect, if at all possible. You may want to get a dimmer for your overhead light, and that will allow you to get a little bit more variety in your lighting. The last thing I want to show you for lighting, we've talked about your angle, which is eye level, and then the angle meaning your camera is in front of your main lighting source, which is natural light. So angle, natural lighting, please use some blinds to deflect and to filter. Third is your in-house artificial lighting. And the fourth is software adjustments. So if you direct your attention down here, your Logitech software may look a little different than this. They've updated this. but the features are going to be exactly the same. And it's under advanced settings. If you look at my video as I'm looking at you dead on, I'm going to click to where it is by default. Okay, so without me adjusting it, this is where it is by default. Look at my video, my head-on video. Ready? That's how bright it is. It's really bright. It's not horrible, but you can see it's kind of washed out. So what I do, and I do this 95% of the time, is I pull it down to 35% or so, and it's just a little bit of a warmer, less washed out look to it. So the software adjustments can be really, really helpful. That's a free app you can get from the Mac App Store. There's also a Windows version, and that brightness level can be really, really helpful when it comes to your lighting. So again, make sure your angle is eye level. Make sure your camera is facing you and you've got a natural light source behind you. Then make sure you're using different artificial light sources, especially these Tautronic lamps that have the different color temperatures. Use the light behind you. Block other lighting sources behind you or lighting sources above you. And lastly, use some software. It's available, and it really is the quickest way to adjust your lighting. Next, we're going to talk about your video camera, how to set it up for really, really great video.